Right now, an animal that could kill you is lying on your floor, half asleep. It has the teeth of a hunter and the blood of a killer, and it would die before it let anything hurt you. We call it our best friend. We forget what it used to be. 20,000 years ago, it wasn't a pet. It was a wolf on the far side of a frozen night, hunting the same animals we were. But the truth is stranger. We didn't catch this animal. We didn't tame it. If anything, the wolf tamed itself. And then, quietly, it tamed us back. This is the story of the first friendship on Earth. It doesn't begin with a leash or a rope. It begins with a pile of garbage, a face, and a grave. I'll show you a muscle in your dog's face that no wolf is born with, and the reason it looks into your eyes the way no wild animal ever would. And the strangest thing of all is a grave in Germany, 14,000 years old. I'm keeping that one for the end. The real question isn't how we trained a dog. It's how an animal that should have been our enemy became the one that chose us. The answer begins at the edge of a fire. Picture the world 20,000 years ago. The deep ice age, cold and open, grassland stretching to the horizon. Herds of huge animals move across it, and two hunters follow those herds better than anything alive, us and the wolf. That made us rivals. Same prey, same ground, never quite enough to go around. We killed wolves. Wolves could kill us. This was not a friendship waiting to happen. But we had one thing the wolves didn't: fire. Light in the dark, warmth against the cold, and the smell of cooking meat drifting into the night. So picture one wolf, thinner than the rest, hanging at the edge of the glow where the firelight fades into black. Hungry enough and curious enough to stay. Every other wolf ran. This one didn't. When people stay in one camp for a while, they make a mess. Cracked bones, scraps of meat, guts nobody wanted. To a starving wolf in winter, that pile of garbage was a free meal, glowing in the dark. There was just one problem. To eat it, you had to walk right up to the most dangerous animal on the planet. You had to walk up to us. Most wolves couldn't do it. The nervous ones, the aggressive ones turned and bolted. But a rare few could keep their cool, creep in, grab a bone, and slip away. Those few ate. The scared ones went hungry. Well-fed animals have more pups. So next winter, there were a few more calm wolves at the fire. And a few more the winter after that. Nobody planned it. It happened one bold pup at a time. Scientists have a name for this: survival of the friendliest. The calmest, boldest wolves fed themselves, so calm and bold slowly won. We didn't tame these wolves, they tamed themselves for dinner. And that word? Domestication? It sounds technical. It just means an animal became tame enough to live alongside us. The fire did that. Not a rope, not a cage. A warm light and a free meal. And now it gets strange. As those wolves grew friendlier, they started to look different. Floppy ears, curly tails, patches of white in the fur, shorter snouts, softer faces. Which makes no sense. Why would being friendly change the shape of your ears? Being nice and having floppy ears have nothing to do with each other. Except somehow they do. We know the answer, because a scientist ran the experiment on purpose. A Russian geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev. Starting in 1959, he took silver foxes on a farm and bred them for one single thing: friendliness, nothing else. He only ever picked the tamest foxes to have pups. That's the whole recipe. And within a few dozen years, those foxes changed. Floppy ears, wagging curly tails, spotty coats. Foxes that whimpered for human hands and licked your face. Think about that. He bred only for friendly and for free. He got a dog. He'd watched a wolf turn into a dog inside a single lifetime. Friendly and cute, secretly wired together. Now, it's not a perfect experiment. Those farm foxes weren't fully wild to start with, and scientists still argue the details. But the basic pattern shows up again and again. Tame comes bundled with cute. So the face you love most, those soft eyes and floppy ears, that isn't really about cuteness. It's the face of an animal that finally stopped being scared of us. The friendly ones survived and started to look like our dogs, but the deepest change wasn't the ears or the tail. It was in the face. One tiny muscle. Dogs grew a small muscle above their eyes that lifts the inner eyebrow, that little upward tug that makes them look sad or hopeful or sorry. Scientists gave it a long Latin name, but you know it as puppy dog eyes. And wolves? They mostly don't have it. And it works because of an accident. That eyebrow lift copies the exact face a human makes when we're sad. So when your dog does it, some deep, ancient part of your brain reads it as a baby who needs you. You can't help it. You melt. There's the muscle I promised you. It's aimed at you across the room right now when the food bowl is empty. Your dog didn't get cute by accident. It was shaped over thousands of years to reach straight into your heart. To be fair, we're still arguing about how that muscle got there. A recent study found coyotes have it too. But nobody argues about what it does. It works on you every single day. Still, a cute face only gets you fed. It doesn't make you family. For that, the dog had to learn something no other animal can really do. It had to learn to read your mind. Dogs didn't just learn to look at us. They learned to read us, and they're weirdly, spookily good at it. Try this. Point at something, and your dog looks where you're pointing. That sounds simple. It isn't. A chimpanzee, our closest relative, mostly can't do that. Your dog does it without thinking. They track our eyes. They read our voices. They catch our moods before we say a word. Without meaning to, we bred a little mind reader that lives for our attention. And you've seen this. You just glance at the leash by the door and it's already up, spinning in circles. You go quiet on a bad day, and it crosses the room and leans its whole weight against your leg. That's not a trick you taught it. That's 10,000 years of dogs learning to read one thing better than any animal ever has: us. Now the story flips completely. This friendship didn't only change the dog, it changed us too. When you look into your dog's eyes and it looks back, both of your brains release the same chemical. It's called oxytocin. Think of it as the I would do anything for you chemical. That's a big deal. It's the exact same loop that fires between a mother and her newborn when they lock eyes. A wolf stares to threaten you. A dog stares to love you. And that soft stare pulls a lever deep in your brain. There's the gaze I promised you. When your dog holds your eyes, it reaches into the exact circuit you keep for your own family. No wild animal does that. Only this one. So we never really tamed the dog on our own. The dog reached back and helped tame us. We grew up together. And if you want proof this was already love, not just a useful animal by the fire, you won't find it in a lab. You'll find it in the ground, 14,000 years down. In a stone quarry near the town of Bonn, workers found a grave. Inside it, two people, a man and a woman, laid to rest side by side more than 14,000 years ago. And tucked between the two of them, they found something no one expected: a puppy. This puppy was only a few months old, and when scientists studied its little bones and teeth, they found it had been horribly sick. It caught a brutal illness called distemper, the kind that kills most dogs that get it. Now, a sick puppy like that is no use to anyone. It couldn't hunt, guard, or earn its keep. By every cold rule of survival, they should have let it go. They didn't. For weeks, someone kept that puppy warm and fed it by hand. They cleaned it and held it through the worst of the fever. And against all odds, it pulled through because somebody loved it enough to try. The puppy lived a while longer, and then, still young, it died. What they did next is the part that stays with you. They didn't throw it away. They laid it in the grave between the two of them to rest together. This is the oldest proof we can hold in our hands of the bond between people and dogs. And it isn't a hunting tool. It isn't a guard. It's a family member. Somebody's whole heart, buried with a dog 14,000 years ago. That's the grave I kept for the end. It doesn't show us the moment a wolf became a dog. It shows us something better. The moment the first dog became somebody's baby. Today, there are close to 1 billion dogs on this planet. One curls up in hundreds of millions of homes. That thin, hungry wolf at the edge of the fire won. And out of every wild thing out there, every wolf, every big cat, every bird, only this one animal chose to come all the way inside. To watch our faces. To worry when we cry. Look down at your dog tonight. That warm weight against your leg is the same animal that once watched you from the dark, too scared to come closer. It crept toward the light 20,000 years ago, and it never stopped choosing us. We didn't conquer the wolf, we made a friend of it, and somewhere along the way, it made us a little more human. That friendship is still being written. Every dog asleep on a couch tonight is a little more ours than its parents were. But the wolf wasn't the only wild thing that walked out of the dark and into our lives. That's a story for next time.